So we've recently made some changes to the order forecast report. So you can see here that I've actually got two versions. I've got order forecast and order forecast version 2. Version 2 is enabled within our admin area, so it's not something you can switch on yourselves. So if you'd like it enabling, then please speak with your account manager, or please speak with support who can get it switched on for you. The main difference is we had some feedback on version 1 and the way that it calculated the figures. So if I just go into version 1 first, and we'll go into set forecast targets here. So the way that this one works is it actually works backwards from the order target. So the percentages always work back from the amount of cars that you want to sell, whereas lots of other groups were saying, well, we actually want it to work from the amount of inquiries, so we want the percentage to work off the amount of inquiries, which is why we've got version 2. So you've got version 1 works off of the order amount, and then version 2 works off of the inquiry amount. So I'm going to go into version 2 because that's the one that I've actually put some indicative figures into, just so we can explain. So first of all, we'll look at the setup of it. So in set forecast targets, so you can see it comes through as with all the sales executives, etc., being able to then mark how many cars you'd like them to sell. So we're focusing on Darren Coles for this example. So he's got a target of 3 new and 5 used. And we've also, as a retailer, got some catch up to do from previous months. So you can put a carryover figure in there if you want. It doesn't automatically calculate that. That would just be for you end users to go in and say, okay, well we were 3 short new and we were 5 short new, and then just put them figures into the carryover, so you can see how far you need to overachieve to be hitting your yearly target, I suppose. So down the bottom, so we've got here a target of 3 new and 5 used. So based on that, for Darren to sell 3 new vehicles, I'm expecting him to be on about a 20% conversion ratio, and on his used cars about 30%. You can get these figures from the sales activity report, so you can actually go to the sales activity report, look at what you've done historically in Inquiry Max, and that's going to give you a really good idea of where you're going to be going forward and how you're going to perform using this report. So based on that, if I wanted him to sell 1 vehicle, I'm looking at him loading 5 inquiries for new and 3 inquiries for used, which will then hopefully sell me 1 car. In terms of the test drives and the offers, because this is based off that initial inquiry, so the order, let's do it on bigger numbers. So let's say I wanted to sell 10 new vehicles. So based on a 20% conversion, I need him to load 50 inquiries, and based on a 50% demo conversion against those 50 inquiries, that's going to be then 25 test drives, and then offers 70% will probably be around about 30 without getting my calculator out. So you can see down here the actual calculation, how it works. Once you've got your KPIs in and your sales targets in for the year, hopefully, then we can look at the report. Now, just a little tip: as you add each month, so once you add November in, go down the bottom and click save, then go and do December, and then go down the bottom and click save. The reason for that is if you don't save each month, then you might put the whole year in and not be able to see what you've done, because it will only save after each month. If I go into 2021, for instance, I can then start to load in my January's figures into here. So something like 5 new, 10, Okay, so I can easily put my figures in, but as I said, must go to the bottom, click save, wait for the little circle to come up so you know it's saved, and then move on to February and start to do the same. So now we're going to go into the actual report. So if you hover over reports, go into sales, and then we can see version 2 of order forecast here. As I said, we're focusing on Darren Coles. That's the one that I've put some figures against. So I'm just going to highlight, I'm just trying to highlight just Darren Coles if I can. There we go. Okay, right. And I'll just try and zoom in a touch just so we can see that a bit better. So for Darren to sell 8 vehicles, okay, so I want him to sell 8 vehicles. This is looking at new and used at the moment. Obviously I can split the report into new and used independently if I want to, but we're looking at both, so it's actually putting the 20% conversion. Actually, I'll tell you what, let's look at it. Let's just split it out. Let's split it out for new first. So based on the 3 orders that I'd like Darren to take, okay, he needs to load 15 inquiries, which is his 20% conversion, and he needs to do 8 test drives, and I'd like him to give 11 offers. Okay, so more offers in my opinion than test drives, because you get remote inquiries and things. Some people might say, well, I don't want to drive the car, or I've already got that vehicle, so I would always have a lot of offers in my order forecast to make sure that customers are aware of how much the vehicle that we're trying to sell is likely to cost them, so we can get them a bit closer to being that person that might buy a car. And if he does that, 15 inquiries and 8 test drives and 11 offers, hopefully if he does all that, I'm expecting him to sell 3 cars. Now, so far this month, so you can see we've got this to date column here, to date target. So far this month, he should have loaded 5 inquiries. He's actually been pretty proactive, and he's managed to get 8 new inquiries. So he's 160% of his run rate. So the middle figure would be classed as your run rate, and then your actual performance is the right-hand figure. Same for test drives. So he's actually should have done 3 test drives. But he's actually done 2, so he's actually 66% of his run rate here. So he's seen more people but done less demos. So now we've got a reason to sit with Darren and give him a bit of coaching as to why maybe he's not getting the test drives that he requires, especially as he's spoken to more people. And with his offers, he should have given out 4 offers, but he's actually given out 7, so he's 175% of his run rate. So considering this, you could look at that and say, well, he's actually spoken to more people and he's given more figures than his run rate. So maybe we're just getting a lot of digital inquiries at the moment, and that could be the reason. Because he spoke to more people and done more offers, he's managed to sell 1 vehicle so far, so he's 100% of his run rate, because so far this month he should have sold 1 to be on track to meet his target of 3. And he has actually done that one order. Now, if we go to used and just have a look at used performance, then you can see here we haven't got any inquiries on used. Maybe Darren's a new car sales exec only, but then you wouldn't have given him a target in the system. So obviously it's going to depend on strengths and weaknesses within the team. But if it's a mixed team and they sell both new and used, then you can show it together, and then we can see here he should have loaded 11 inquiries in total, new and used. He's actually loaded 8, so he's 72% of his run rate, etc. So this is what we call an activity-centric report, which basically means this isn't saying that out of these 8 inquiries, Darren has done 2 test drives and given 7 offers and sold 1 car to these 8. Okay, it's based on the activity that's done within the date range, within the month we're looking at. Okay, so we're looking at November 2020. So if an inquiry came in October or September, it's not going to be shown in this number 8. Okay, but if the customer came in and took the test drive in November, or had an offer, or bought the car in November, that number would show in here. So it's based on the activity you've done within the date range, and it's always done on order take. The orders is how many cars have you sold. It's not on registrations, it's not handovers, it's just order take. So this is trying to build up your order bank as much as you possibly can. So hopefully that's clear. At the bottom we've got our carryover number as well. So you can see at the bottom our carryover is 7 new, 12 used. So that's just to make sure that if you're starting to overachieve in your in your total orders target, then you're going to go, okay, let's keep overachieving because we need to eat into the carryover figure from previous months. Okay, so that's it. That completes our video. Thanks for your time.